And he'll also pop up here and there and provide you with a hint of, you know, how you're supposed to complete the next area. Why? Okay, in the first one you had the gargoyles to provide hints, and they were actually sort of under Zarek's, you know, I mean, there's a couple of times where they've referred to him as the Master, so clearly his magic made them talk and all that, made them alive, to whatever extent they are. So they're not, like, completely on your side, and they're basically taunting you. They're basically saying, bet you can't figure out this riddle to get a little further, and then, like, you know, impressed when you do. I mean, they're having fun, you know, they're enjoying seeing how far you get because they don't expect you to make it. Casper the Cockney Ghost is on your side, and they keep talking about how vitally important it is that you make it, so why is he providing you with puzzles? Why isn't he just coming out and saying, okay, in the next area, use that lever, and then this and this will happen? Seriously, has, like, some higher power put forth some rules like you cannot haunt anyone unless you talk in riddles, or if you convince old misers to give to charity. I mean, why? Also, the plan, I mean, Zarek was just your typical bad guy, just bad for the sake of being bad, you know, deliciously evil and over-the-top cackling, and, I mean, he gets mad because other people are happy, and, you know, so he wants to screw things up for them so they're not happy anymore. I mean, that's, you know, your picture of evil right there. This new guy is upset because he doesn't get to be a big aristocrat, so he wants the power of magic so that he can be all powerful, and he doesn't know that that's gonna distort reality, something like that. It's not as good. Also, for some reason, he and his two dumb thugs are transformed when he first uses the magic. Why? I don't know. I guess they just really wanted them to look more monstrous. You know, the guy himself, I don't know, like red skin, I guess like devilish something, I don't know. The two others are like a lizard and a dog. The game has you fighting Jack the Ripper at one point, and it's nowhere near as exciting or interesting as that might offhand sound. I mean, you go to Whitechapel, and the level is basically all puzzles. You just have to run around, you know, you'll try to get into a nightclub where Kira was last seen or something like that, and it's like you have to be wearing the right dress, because apparently guy in armor, not cool, blue half-naked woman with thigh-high brown boots and gauze, that's cool. Okay, I think you might want to rethink the codes for who you let into your nightclub. Just a thought. The Jack the Ripper thing culminates in this time machine that you have to go and assemble so that you can travel back in time, so you'll get there in time, so you'll be able to save her. And that leads to, hands down, one of the weirdest moments in this whole game. You go to this underground village, and everyone there hails you as, I don't know if it's an actual deity or just like a hero, but they've got a statue of you, and they just immediately, you know, start cheering you, and then you're asked to help save the women of this place. Once you do, they finally agree to sail you, if I recall. Because, of course, when a deity arrives, or a hero, whatever, you should deny him the one thing he wants and make him work for you. You know, that's logic right there. So after that, you assemble the time machine, and I'll admit the level where you do that is not half bad. The basic concept is that it's this museum that has a specific wing where you can see all the future accomplishments that they expect the British Empire to achieve, including going to the moon sooner than 1960 to fight the little green men there with laser guns. You sort of fight them by luring them to shoot at you and then jumping so that they'll hit this rocket ship, you know, faked of course, and it'll deflect back onto them, and thus you gradually destroy the rocket, and inside, no, on top of it is this room that you need. And there's also this other point where you know, it's like a game of Simon, you know, I think that's what it's called. You know, the thing where, you know, it plays a couple of notes. It starts with like 1 or 2, and then you have to play those 2 in the correct order, and gradually it becomes like, you know, I don't know, 10, 12 in a row in this machine that was set up to, get this, play the British national anthem to out in the universe, so that they would hear these glorious notes and immediately think, okay, that's where we want to go. Let's go to Earth, and let's go to England. I'll admit that that's not half bad. So you build this time machine, and the first place you go is back to the sewers. And here's the really weird part. You're back in time from before they considered you a deity and a hero, and this is where you expect it to make sense, to come together, and, you know, you think that whatever you do there, then, is gonna make them think that you're a deity or a hero. But it makes no sense if that's what it actually was, because you rob them. You steal a rune from them, dress up like their chief, who I might add already did wear garb that looked sort of similar to what Daniel is, you know, so apparently he wasn't a deity at the time, because they don't really react to you as if you are, and I don't think the statue's there yet. Or heck, maybe it is. It just makes no sense whatsoever. And you sail off because you sort of look like the guy, and that's it. You don't do anything like big or heroic or anything. So why did they consider you a deity? They couldn't have possibly known what else you did, right? I mean, they live underground. They don't seem to be they're this little uncivilized nation. Another thing in the game that does deserve mention as a positive is there's this level where you fight, like you're boxing against, I think it's called the Iron Slugger, and it's like clearly stronger than you, so you have to gradually, over time, soften him up and avoid being hit yourself. And once you have actually gotten used to the controls for it, it can be pretty fun, I'll admit that. It's immediately preceded by a level where you have to assemble a body for yourself by fighting these mutated body parts, and including a butt. And yes, that does allow for some toilet humor, because how classy is that? And all of these body parts have like bodies attached to them, and they attack you, and you have to beat them up and grab the body part and run back, and all this is on a time limit, and like much else in the game can be pretty frustrating. I will say that the final boss is maybe not half bad. You fight this giant blue demon and this rocket ship with a machine gun that has the guy who's using the magic in it. And what you have to do is shoot at the ship and get it to, accidentally shoot at the demon. And the demon will attack the ship, and once you've done that a couple of times, it'll be over. But on the whole, it's just not that good a game. It's not that enjoyable. It's not that entertaining. It's not terribly satisfying. It's like they purposefully went up, grabbed this bag of fun that is the first game, and squeezed all the fun, the adventure, the excitement, everything that made it enjoyable out as if on a balloon, and then just stuck some filler in to make it seem as big, and tried to convince us that if we're frustrated, we're having fun with the game. I mean, who would do away with the Hall of Heroes? Why would you make the character that provides hints an ally? And are this new century's weapons supposed to be interesting enough that we should look away from this no longer taking place in the Middle Ages? I mean, it's not like I have some crush on the Middle Ages, but it's called Medieval. It's in the title. Imagine if the sequel to Jedi Knight 2 hadn't been Jedi Academy, but Jedi Knight 3, and you play as a bounty hunter or something. But yeah, on the whole, it's not necessarily horrible, and it certainly isn't particularly buggy or glitchy.